Okay, so I want to remind everyone the ballot positions were selected, which way over to the left is Mrs. Munson, then you have Sharon Wilson, then you have Deb Harlan, John Thomas, and Jay, we call you Jay, is it Whitlish, do I say that right?
Whitlick.
Whitlish. And then we have Tim Ligon, Fran Wilson, and Rick Kirkby. So we have, 4 open positions and 8, applying for it. So we'll start out with our opening statements, which Ms. Munson, you get to go first, and then we'll go down to each candidate. You have up to 5 minutes, and of course, we have our beautiful lady June over here with a stopwatch. All right. Oh, please put your mic as close to your face as possible. They have been sanitized, so everyone in the back can hear you as well. They had a hard time to go.
Right? Can you hear me? No.
Your green button on?
On?
Okay, pull it closer.
Should they all be on?
Yeah,
Is that better?
yep, it goes right up to the mic.
All right, right up to the mic. Well, LWJ already knows.
Yeah, it works.
Okay. You can't hear me? Now I can?
Yeah, you gotta get real close.
Oh, my.
There, okay.
All right, well, LWJ already knows how much I like a microphone. Okay, good afternoon to everyone here, along with those of you on Zoom. I'm Darlene. You gotta hear me. I mean, I'm a loud talker. Is that better?
You're reading to the side.
Yeah, maybe put it in front of you.
Yeah, put it right.
I mean, this is in front of me, I'm facing the plate. Okay, is that better? Can you hear me now? No?
Yeah,
Okay,
are we
same
good
on the
now?
other end?
No.
All right.
Well, if you can just use the mic.
Yeah, why don't you use it, do you want to stand, use the microphone?
I don't care, I mean, because Amanda said something on my phone, you think
That's so everyone can see you, but the mic's not
but
working.
is this gonna work for the whole rest of the thing? You know, so when I have to answer any other questions?
Well, hold on.
Sorry.
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
So we'll just give you this one,
Okay.
and then the questions have to go all the way down to the. All right, well, this is a microphone I'm familiar with.
All right, Jude, you ready? All right. Good afternoon to everyone here, along with those of you on Zoom. I'm Darlene Munson, and I, along with my husband Vern, have owned property in Legend since 2002. I'm a Florida resident, and I reside here in Florida for 8 months of the year, and the other 4 months I'm in Minnesota. First, I would like to thank you for taking the time to listen to what I and the other candidates have to say, because it shows that you care about this community we call Legend, like I do. I'd also like to say how nice it is to have so many other candidates running for the board, as it shows we have members here willing to volunteer their time and services for the good of us all. And I would be happy to work alongside any one of them. I personally am asking for your vote to the master board because I feel that I can be a great service to our community. I consider myself to be open-minded to others' ideas, opinions, and views that help to improve our club. I'm very organized and efficient, and I'm willing to work with others regardless of the tasks to be done. I have been involved in our community for years, participating and attending many of them in activities and meetings, as well as belonging to leagues and clubs. I have owned and managed a variety of businesses during my working career. My responsibilities have ranged from hiring, training, scheduling, promotion, sales, and inventory, along with check balancing and tax preparation. All experiences and tools that are helpful for being a member on the master board. I understand that a member of the board is different from traditional businesses, and that I would be working with both paid staff, other board members, and volunteers together, something I have plenty of experiences with in my past. I have been volunteering all my life, helping many different organizations in a variety of ways, from being a director, a chair, a president, a coordinator, and fundraiser. I have learned to be a good listener, to be organized, goal-oriented, resilient, and positive. And because in the end, something good always happens when you are working with others who also believe in the same cause. And in this case, the cause is the Legends Golf and Country Club's Master Board. Regardless of what the goals are for the next couple of years for our club, I will be a team player. I will work diligently to uphold our standards here at Legends, to keep the members informed through good communication with the board, management, staff, to keep our community safe, clean, and physically secure, to keep a variety of activities and amenities for all who want to participate in unity, to uphold and protect the club policies and bylaws, to keep our investments in our properties a sound one. Clearly, we must be doing something right at Legends, as anyone knows that trying to buy property here, that there is very little available. And probably the best and only way to find a place is to know someone selling before it gets listed. That, in my opinion, says a lot about the value of Legends along with what a great community it is. I am running for the Master Board because I care about Legends. I care for you, I care for myself, and I care for those future members to come. I'm quite appreciative and feel very fortunate to be sharing this great community and special times in our lives with so many wonderful people. I have had many fabulous experiences that I treasure here and developed numerous friendships. This community has given me so much, and I would like to give back by representing you on the Master Board. Should I be elected, I will act in good faith in my performance of all duties for the members, including the fiduciary ones, as I recognize that our investment here is personally what is most important to us all. And I would be happy and honored to serve on your board. So I thank you for taking the time to listen and consider me, Darlene Munson, to represent you on your Master Board.
Thank you, Ms. Munson. Sharon Wilson.
It's been a very different year.
I
hear you. It's been a very different year. Can you hear? No?
Wait, that's the mic.
Can you hear me now? No?
Hold it really close.
Okay. It's been a very different year for all of us here at Legends. I'd like to thank the current Master Board and Renee for making some very difficult decisions in order to keep us all safe here. Thank you. It's so nice to see so many faces that I recognize, and yet there are people that I don't, which that's a good thing, that you get to know me. Hopefully, there are many more people in Zoom land watching this important forum. For those of you who do not know me or have not read my letter of intent to run, I'm Sharon Wilson. I live in Building 5 in Longhurst. My husband Roger and I have been Legend residents since 2008. What a welcoming community this was when we came, and it still remains that. And oh, the many, many new friends that we've made here. I'm here at least 9 months of the year, and I return to New Jersey, South Jersey, for the summer months usually. Over my 12 years of being here, I've volunteered on many subcommittees: House, Architectural Control, Human Resources, and the Golf Tournament Committee, and some of them were for many years. I'm also the Vice President of our Longhurst 3 HOA. I'm involved in numerous other activities as well, such as I've been in the 9-hole and the 18-hole Ladies Golf League. I'm on a bocce league, Powerhouse, and this is for Powerhouse. They're looking for new recruits. It's really a fun time. You don't need any talent. Jody will find someplace to put you in the show. And the breast cancer event that Legends normally hosts here. And that's near and dear to my heart. and benefits Lee County residents. I would encourage all members to volunteer for a subcommittee. It's not only enlightening, but it's also rewarding. And it's a way of giving back to our community. It may seem like just a little way, or you think you don't have the time. It's really not a time issue. And I know Renee had I still like to call it the Lure of the Legends, that's actually how long we've been here, but the Legends Exchange yesterday, requesting people to sign up to become a member of one of the committees, and they will be chosen after the election on the 8th. Because of my involvement, I feel that I've had a deep knowledge of the workings and the needs of our community. And there's a difference between needs and wants. If elected, I feel that I would be an asset to the Master Board and also to our community members. Please consider, when casting your vote, my past years and past and present involvement, which make for a shorter learning curve on the board, my desire to listen and to be open to other people's opinions and suggestions. I will represent all members. I'm a Goff member, but I'm a social member, and I would represent all. I will be fiscally responsible when making decisions. I will bring honesty, integrity, and objectivity to the board and work as a team member. I will strive to ensure that all the reasons that makes Legends a wonderful place to live are preserved and kept current. Thank you.
Deborah Harriman.
Thank you, Renee. I am Deb Harriman, current Vice President of Legends Board of Directors and Chairperson of both Common Grounds and Sports and Fitness Committees. I moved to Legends, a social-only member, in 2010, became a full-time Florida resident in 2013, and a Goff member in 2015. I have served on several boards as member or officer in Illinois and Florida. Prior to my term on our master board, I served on the Huntington 1 board here in Legends, the Southwestern Illinois College Foundation Board, Stonehenge Homeowners Association Board of Directors, Art on the SWIR Board, and several educational associations. I hold a bachelor's degree in elementary and special education K through 12, a master's degree in instructional technology, and a specialist degree in educational administration. As a 34-year career public educator, my tasks included curriculum and instruction, personnel and human resources, finance and budget, grant writing, technology, contract negotiations, and a wide variety of district operations. After teaching 23 years, I worked as the county's technology director, where I helped write and execute a $10 million federal technology grant. I participated on the design team with the Illinois State Board of Education, developing the state test for college graduates pursuing a teaching career in special education. A school administrator for 6 years, I retired in 2011. During my 2-year tenure on the master board, we have continued to build our reserves. I believe Legends continues to move in the right direction. Currently, out of our 1,291 doors, to my current knowledge, there are only around 5 places of residences for sale. The foresight and tough decisions made by both the current and previous boards before us have kept the value of our homes attractive to a variety of buyers. I believe long-range plans give us the opportunity to stay current and competitive with other communities. I come to you as a listener, an observer, and a voice for every resident. My status as a single has brought diversity to the board and enlightened the board to offer the single members living in Legends the same opportunities as those with spouses and significant others. One of the biggest challenges this past year for Renee, our staff, and all of you, every resident here, was COVID-19. At the onset of COVID-19, I lost my mother. But I remained dedicated to the job that I signed on to do. And as Master Board Secretary, I responded to well over 75 letters for the Master Board. Very difficult decisions were made on our Sports and Fitness Committee, and at times unpopular. However, you can rest assured the safety of our members and staff have been and continue to be a top priority for the Master Board and Advisory Committee. Earlier, I mentioned long-range plans. Recently, an impressive 72% of the households in Legends responded to the survey sent to you from the Long Range Planning Committee. Many of our Legends residents also participated in focus groups, diverse in both age and gender. As we are here today, we are satisfied with amenities such as our Sunset Grill and our beautiful resort-style pool. However, our community can only continue to thrive if we remain significant to the ever-changing needs of the market. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve the Legends community. If re-elected, I will continue to focus on our vision of being recognized as the most financially stable, best value and active adult lifestyle golf and country club in Southwest Florida. Thank you.
John Thomas.
Good evening. I'm John Thomas, and of course, I'm running for one of the open positions on the Master Board. I do have a couple of points I would like to address in my opening statement. As I wrote in my write-up, fiscal responsibility is very important going forward. In the last 4 years, social dues have risen 40%. I know why I moved here. It was an excellent place to work, to live, and the fees were very reasonable compared to other clubs in the area. We must ensure that we are maximizing value for all Legends communities. Second, someone asked me recently, why are you running for the board again? Are you a glutton for punishment? My response is, why does it have to be that way? Everybody that is sitting up here is a volunteer and a fellow neighbor. I read the emails and hear the comments about all the past Master Board decisions. A nice way to say this is, some of those comments are highly inappropriate. Agree or disagree with the vote, I'm sure that the best intentions went into these decisions. Everybody deserves respect. Additionally, I think we need to rely on our senior managers and their experience. I would like them to be more engaged in decision-making, or at the very least, provide strong recommendations on projects. When I get feedback from my small circle of friends, who better than our staff to get a broader range of member opinions as well as other clubs' experiences. Thank you, and I hope to earn your vote.
Jay Whitman.
Good afternoon. My wife Beverly and I are proud and fortunate to be year-round residents in the Legends. From our initial arrival as renters in December of 2017 to our purchasing in January of 2019, we fell in love with the community and our new neighbors. I would enjoy representing our fellow owners on the Legends Board of Directors. Most certainly, I will not be the most vocal person in a room. However, I am an extremely good listener, able to process thoughts, ideas, and solutions while being cognizant of the betterment of our community as a whole. As a premier golf and country club community in Southwest Florida, we must maintain our extraordinary amenities, residential value and ownership of today, and appeal to future ownership and the affordability for both. The combination of appeal to future members and affordability to current residents is the backbone and strength of the Legends. It's a narrow path to balance and must be part of our strategic long-range plan. Thank you.
Tim Liggins.
Hello, I'm Tim Ligon. Can you hear me?
Yes.
My wife Kim and I have been a member here since 2014. I have been visiting since 2007, visiting in-laws, so I'm very familiar with the community and seen it grown over the years. I started my career as a firefighter for about 9 years. I was an EMT. My last 4 years, I went to college, received an accounting degree, graduated magna cum laude, and then joined Deloitte & Touche, one of the accounting firms. I was an auditor for 5 years, financial auditor, and then I joined a client as a senior manager. A couple of years after that, I joined the executive team as vice president. I left there after 11 years, started my own business, was president and owner, basically handling the financial, the human resources, and the legal side of business. I enjoy living here at Legends. Know a lot of people here, part of the golf men's group, part of the tennis group, was on a pickleball team last year, attended many dances here, been to many concerts, social events, love everything here. This is why I love this place. It's value, I love the people. You can't meet nicer people that all want to enjoy themselves and have a good time. I just retired, wasn't decided to get back involved in anything, but felt like there was a need. And so I'm volunteering my time and my skills for doing this. I am interested in the big picture, problem solving, finding solutions that involve everybody and come up and think outside the box to try to come up with things that will help everyone involved. I would appreciate your vote. And again, my name's Tim Ligon. Thank you.
Fran Wilson.
Good afternoon, and thank you for sitting through. I know some of you have been here through the golf forum and now through the master board. I am, as my husband will tell you, I volunteer. I have volunteered forever. I think it's part of my Irish ancestry. My father did, my mother did, both sisters, and myself. I have volunteered as a person, as a teacher, as someone in my church. Then when I came down here, I thought, okay, I'm retired, we can golf, we can have fun. And then I started it again. I'm a member of the LWGA. I have been a member of the Tennis Association until my knees gave out. Pickleball is out of the question for these knees as well. I'm a card player, I'm a mahjong player, so I appreciate, I hope, all the different aspects that are given to us here as members. In the past, I have been on the disciplinary committee, the house committee, the common grounds, the golf handicap committee, the ad hoc decorating committee, which gave us that gorgeous room out there. And for years on our Somerset HOA as the secretary and as the ACC chairperson. So I am very serious about making a difference here at Legends. I have no agenda. I just have always felt that you should pay it forward, that if this community is going to be our community, I need to step up and I need to be a part of it. And I would like your vote to be a member of the master board. Last June, when we had a vacancy on the master board, I basically stepped up at that time. there were two of us who made an application for that vacancy. Bill Hoffman, of course, got the position. And I hope that I would get your consideration. We have to remember that this is a private country club, and our mission statement helps us to fulfill the needs of every member here, culturally, recreationally, and socially. And I hope that I can be a part of that. And I appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Rick Kirkbride.
My intention for running for the master board is to be an advocate and a voice for all people in the Legends, social and golf members. I think it is very important that we manage this in a world-class.
A little closer, they can't hear you.
Oh, you can't, is
They
this
can't hear
better?
you louder.
Is this better?
That's better.
Okay. My intention to run for the master board is to be an advocate and a voice for all social and golf members, and to operate in a fiscal responsibility, setting goals and objectives, and reasonable plans, and working within a budget that will protect your club's money. The Legends Golf and Country Club has world-class amenities and facilities that we must maintain and improve, being fiscally responsible. My career at Caterpillar and Komatsu America Corporation has made me, with my experience just for this position on master board, to reasonably work with all the board members and to make the achievement of the goals and objectives we have. The following goals and commitments to you and to every member. Listen to every member's concerns and request openly to review and honestly consider each, taking it to the full board, all members to consider. Maintain continuous improvement for the benefit of all members in this facility. I will strive to maintain fees and control reserves to make it the valuable asset it is to all of us by doing this. I will be working with other board members to utilize the current facilities to maximize it and to reallocate unused areas rather than expend large amounts of money to build additional facilities. So all of this is utilized. Just like the purposing parts of the room that we're in right now for cards and to achieve the satisfaction of all members. I'm a 69-year-old widower. I am now in a relationship with a significant other, Kristen Lippincott, and we both enjoy these facilities for everything. We play tennis, we play golf, and we support this club by going to all the functions we can. And I really ask for your votes, and I will work hard and diligently to achieve the goal. Thank you.
I wanted to let everyone know there are 80 members that are out in Zoom listening, so that's a good participation as well. All right, let's start a few questions. I'll take first that was emailed to me. First one is from Kathy Talsrow. This is for all candidates, and I'll start with Mr. Kirkbride first, because we're starting from the front, we'll slowly go to the back. Please describe your involvement in the strategic planning process to date and how you view your future involvement if elected to the master board.
I have not been involved with the strategic planning to date. I would certainly like to get involved in it, but I feel that with my cost reduction background and cost control background, I would be well experienced to work on those projects.
Fran Wilson?
As most of you have have received the information regarding the survey from the Strategic Planning Committee, which Julie spearheaded beautifully. All that work compiling all of that information was a task to end all. I went through not only the 2021, but I went through the 2016 surveys that were put out. And I was not on the committee, and I really feel that the survey was very well participated in. Over 70% we had returns. And some of the questions and answers were very, very informative. And I hope that if elected to the master board, that we can find a way to implement and to get us back on the track so that the large part of our membership will be pleased with what we are doing.
I personally have not been involved in any of the strategic planning meetings. However, working at Deloitte & Touche, I worked on various audits and had various strategy meetings with various clients as a vice president of business development within my company. My group was in charge of all the budgeting and analysis and strategic planning for our business. Did that for a little over a decade. And then, of course, owning my own business was vitally involved. So I've had 25 years experience of financial related strategic planning and things like that. Thank you.
Jay Whitman?
I was not on the committee for the long-range planning. I did fill out the survey and return it. I do have background in strategic planning through the corporate level of planning and working with actually the government, the Department of Defense, to become a vendor with them. So I feel like I do have credentials that will aid us, because this plan that that we are evolving to is very important to the future of the club, to our existing members, and to the members of tomorrow. Thank you.
John Thomas?
I did not have any participation in this latest request of planning. I did notice that this survey was a lot like the past survey. To be honest with you, I'm not a huge fan of outside consultants. I think they come up with like a cookie cutter presentation. I think it's better to have people that are internal, that can solve the issues that are pertinent to us, and not over a broad, like I say, a cookie cutter outline.
How long do we have? 3 minutes? 5 minutes?
1 minute.
Oh, 1 minute, okay. And I have been involved in the meetings. As a matter of fact, I was, the board, the master board, just met with the long-range planning committee, and discussed the survey. We have an upcoming town hall meeting with the long-range planning committee, which I hope all of you attend. It's on March 22nd or 23rd. I do believe that Aspiring Club Insights was very important and crucial to our benefit. We must remain current and attractive to new members, as well as the present members that live here. And I believe the survey is very beneficial, and all this will be laid out to all of you on the 22nd, 23rd of March.
Sharon Wilson?
I was a member of one of the focus groups. It was very interesting. There were a variety of people and responses during that. I Zoomed on the 2-hour-long strategic plan meeting. I did complete my survey, and I did read the survey results yesterday that were posted, and it was very interesting to me. as to, it was certainly a bit different than what I had expected. And I look forward to the town hall meeting for more of an explanation on what those results mean. And I think we need to be careful going forward in evaluating the information that we gain from that. Thank you.
And Ms. Munson?
Okay, I have not been directly involved with strategic planning. I did volunteer this last time. I volunteered last in 2016 was to be part of a focus group. This last time I was not, but I did fill out all surveys since I've been here, and there's been numerous of them. I will say that I was impressed with the fact that the numbers were up to 72% because the last survey in 2016, it was only a 66% rate of respondents coming. So I thought that was a good sign to show that the members were starting to care more. I do recognize that we have an awful lot of new members, and I think that's fabulous. And I'd love to see them get involved more in our community. And I maybe understand that this is maybe why we're getting a higher rate of return on survey. I do know that in 2016, 74% said that Legends should evolve over the next 5 to 10 years. I believe Legends has been doing just that and evolving nicely.
Okay, I'm going to take one out in Zoom land, in which I also received a hard copy of it. It's from Jack Katzmark. This question is addressed to all Master Board Association candidates. Hello, and thanks to each of you for stepping forward and running for Master Board position. Your willingness to volunteer your time in the interest of our community is greatly appreciated. Over the past 5 years, the Legends have significantly enhanced the amenities and facilities of our community. This is a great benefit to us all, helps keep the Legends competitive in the real estate market, and helps to retain our property values. However, social dues have increased by 48% over this period, and total social and golf dues have increased by 35%. I do not believe this is sustainable over the next 5 years. Do you support bending the curve on the rate of due increase, establishing a 3-year financial operating plan, and putting in place additional decision-making processes that will help us manage the future rate of dues increase? Fran Wilson?
Definitely. I agree with what John Thomas has said. I feel that the dues for our social members, of which we are all social members, they have increased exponentially in the past year. I think that there also is very good reason that some of those dues have increased. And I would be very happy to work alongside of every board member in trying to equate this measurement so that it would be applicable to all of the members here, so that the social members would not feel that they are being put aside.
Tim Ligon?
As an accountant, I am fiscally conservative by nature. So I would definitely analyze everything that comes up, understand why, come up with solutions maybe to give and take on other areas versus this area, but also we have to stay competitive. So as long as it makes sense and it's reasonable and that we can justify the costs, I will definitely be supportive of it. If not, then we'll try to come up with other solutions.
Mr. Whitworth?
We must flatten the curve. Our club is roughly 20 years old. A lot of our residents, when they initially bought in here, were at the height of their earning power. Now a lot of them are retired, and they're limited to their funds going forward. We have to take responsibility to take care of them as well as our new members that we want to get into the club. So we have to flatten that curve.
Mr. Thomas?
Of course, like I said in my opening statement, fiscal responsibility is very utmost important to me. The one thing is that, you know, when we built our beautiful Sunset Grill out there, with that comes extra cost, okay? And I mean, so, you know, we had to put reserves in for, you know, all the equipment out there, chairs, et cetera, all the kitchen equipment. But I think that was a well-planned, well-executed, absolutely fantastic project. I think going forward, we have to look at the projects that are coming up and how much of the support of the members does that particular project enhance, and then, you know, go from there. Thank
Ms.
you.
Harriman?
Well, I would like to invite Mr. Casmark to apply for the, one of the committees that would be Finance Committee coming up. I think he would be a great addition to it. I read his letters that we've received, and I agree with Mr. Ligon that we need to be justified as to why we have a dues increase. We are a different club than we were in 2017. And folks, there's a reason why we only have a few places available. And you all know why, because we're staying current. And we are competitive with other communities. And the last thing I want to see is a house in foreclosure across the street from me. Or I live in a villa next to me. It's empty for a year or so. There's a reason why, as I said, there were only a few places available right now, because we are listening to you, we're listening to your needs, and I do believe that that we have been justified in the money that we have spent.
Sharon Smith? I'm sorry, Sharon Wilson.
That's funny because that's my maiden name.
I looked at the S, Sharon S.
First to start, before I would comment on what someone's saying is the percentage of the increase, I would really need to look into that information first to make sure that that's an accurate statement. Do I believe that the dues have increased? Yes. And if I were on the board, I would like to see us to be able to make it more affordable for some people who work here, just like John said, and who may not be able to be here now. But I do believe we need to stay current for our property values. But like we say, there is nothing available here, so we must be doing a great job. But I definitely think we need to take a good look at the finances.
Ms. Munson?
Okay, I mean, I did know that in the exchange, it did that the social dues went up 7.47%, a total of 270. So that part I feel confident in, because that was in the exchange, and I'm comfortable giving us good information. I also know that the survey stated that one of the number one things that came up time and time again, and it's always come up, is that Legends is known to be a good value, And like we discussed earlier, you know, we need to keep it a good value. And then there's a lot of people who did buy in because that's the reason. Yes, keeping dues. Now, I mean, I'm not going to talk about what it is for you guys. I mean, it's the same thing for me. It's my dues too, and I don't want to spend any more than you want to spend. And so I am really quite interested in keeping the dues down and then assessing them. And I realize that the one from the exchange mentioned that a lot of it was COVID related. And, you know, and maybe so, but we can see what happens after the rest of this year. Thank you.
We have to have Mr. Kirkland. Ready?
Yes, I believe that what we really need to do is look at the reasons we had these increases in reserves for the main part of it, I believe, and that we need to do root cause analysis of what the cost is incurred from. We need to do a better problem solving, structured problem solving, and figure out ways to work around it. Like I said earlier, restructure and repurpose areas that are underused to maximize, for example, the exercise area. Instead of having half of it gone part of the time for cars, we would use like the dining room here, which is closed off for cars, and that could be easily, with the staff we have, be set up and take it down as necessary. So I do believe we need to really do a very good analysis of why we're spending the money and then better allocate the space to be best.
My name is Mike Gordon, and I've previously been on our master board here, and let me tell you, the pay is great. But thank you for volunteering, because we wouldn't exist without volunteers like this. So I've just got one question for everybody. It's actually a pretty simple question. But I'd like to start with John Thomas first, and then Deborah, because you have already been on the master board, okay? So my question is this. Please give me your definition of the words "to govern."
To govern. I don't have my dictionary in front of me, but I would say to govern somebody properly, you have to listen to them, take their opinions, calculate their opinions, and then decide what is best for the community at whole. Not just a small group of people that come and into a position and say, okay, we want this. Like I say again, that Sunset Grill was fabulous. Everybody can use that. Okay, everybody has to eat. Everybody's gonna go and use it. Thank God we got that with this last year with COVID. It would have been a disaster here trying to find some place to eat. I guess does that answer your question?
That's your definition of governance.
Yes.
Ms. Harriman?
I believe to govern is to work closely in our situation with management and staff members, our board, and listen very closely to our advisory committees, because they're the voice of the people. They're the voice of the members.
Mr. Gordon, did you want the rest of
No,
that?
I like to hear everybody, yeah. I
Yes.
do.
Okay,
I like to
so,
know if they understand the term.
Mr. Ligon?
To me, I guess it would be to accumulate all the information that you possibly can, based on your experience and your skills and stuff like that, formulate some solutions, and then make decisions. But when you make those decisions, make sure that you can be as transparent as possible, be able to explain yourself, why you made those decisions, what type of information you used to make that decision, and you can do it with respect, and you can do it with a sense of professionalism. There's no use in bullying people. There's no use in telling them that this is the way it is and that's the way it's going to be. If you're going to be able to be in this position and you're going to be able to make a decision, you should be able to explain exactly why you made that decision. So governing is trying to make the best solution possible based on the information you have, but being able to make those tough decisions and then be able to explain it reasonably and respectfully.
Mr. Whitfield?
I see governing as accumulating the ideas, the thoughts of our total community, and then applying them to the solution that's in front of us. If that is a specific part of long-range planning, if it's a specific part of our amenities, be it like John was talking about the Sunset Grill or the dining room here, we have to take it all into account and relate it to the whole and reach a fiscal decision that makes sense for everybody.
Sharon Wilson?
Well, I look at the master board as being the governance of our community.
Like,
I look at the master board, and if we look on our Legends website, it says governance, and that, under that is the master board listed. And to me, one of the purposes is making rules and setting policy. So that's bottom line, I believe, of governing.
Ms. Buckett?
For me, to govern means to just uphold the policies and the bylaws of this club. It's plain and simple. That's all, that's our job as a master board. Uphold them like I stated in my opening statement. That's what I promised to do, and that's what I believe you're asking me to do if you're elected.
Mr. Kirkbride, can you put your mic a little bit closer, because I got a text that people can't hear you.
Oh, sure. Okay. I believe the government is to execute as the people elected you to execute, to set the policy and rules of the 12th degree administered by the manager.
Fran Wilson?
I think to govern, I look back at my teaching, and I have to set some rules. And along with those rules have to be followed in order to have some semblance of order. If I were to govern, I would think that you would bring in people that would analyze, they would discuss, they would delegate, and they would talk about your strengths and your weaknesses and adapt, be able to adapt to the ever-changing days, weeks, months, COVID. I mean, just like the master board adapted every single day to the new COVID that we were subjected to. And I think that's, when you govern as a master board, that's a big responsibility.
Okay, we're going to take one from what was submitted by email. This is from Kathy Telsbro, and Jay Whittick, you'll be first. The question is, would you vote to support seeking a loan or a member assessment in order to enhance Legends amenities if this was recommended by the Strategic Planning Committee?
I would really have to have solid information on what type of amenity, what type of improvements we're going to do, and then get feedback from the residents here, the members here, and then make the decision that's the best decision I'm available to come up with for the entire club.
Mr. Thomas?
I would be personally against any loans taken out through a bank. I think, again, when we did the Sunset Grill, we had a 2-year assessment that I think was very somewhat affordable for everybody. When you take a bank loan out, the only one that wins there is the bank. You know, when half your money is going to loan payments, to me, that's crazy. Again, I would agree with Jay that I'd have to look at the data. Is it going to be something that all members are going to be able to use, or is it just going to be for a small portion of the membership? Okay, if it's for a small portion of the membership, we have to take a real serious look at that.
Ms. Harriman?
I would not be in favor of a long-term loan, shorter-term loan possibly. Interest rates, we need to look at those. Depends on what the long-range committee determines as our needs from the survey and the focus groups and the town hall meetings and such, as to what amenities we're considering. But I would not want to consider a long-term loan.
Sharon Smith? goodness, I did it again. Wilson, geez. I'm making sure everyone's awake, okay?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm a little disfocused. We just had someone go down on the pickleball court, and they just took her away, hand, wrist, and head injury, so got me a little bit off here.
Sorry, but maybe that would be a good, distinction between Fran and myself. Fran Wilson and.
There you go.
But, as far as Kathy's question, if it's decided that we're going to spend however much money, my take on it would be to use our reserves first, determine what the difference is, what we still would have to pay. And at this point, money's pretty cheap. And sometimes it's more beneficial to borrow, and I agree, I don't think it should be a long-term loan, but I think if we borrow instead of an assessment, but I think each individual case may determine that. But let the people who are coming in, even though we don't have any places for sale right now, but let those people also help to pay for the rest of the time of that use. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Munson?
Yeah, Renee, I'm just going to ask you to read that again so I'm sure that I understand it correctly.
Would you vote to support seeking a loan or a member assessment in order to enhance Legends amenities if this was recommended by the Strategic Planning Committee?
Okay, so if the strategic planning committee was recommending that we need more money for more amenities, I guess, with me to fully know and understand what those amenities are for, and is it going to be for the greater good of the majority of the members here? Is this going to be something that's a good investment for our club as a whole, and that includes our own personal home? That if it keeps our real estate investment to be sound, and I feel like that's something that's going to benefit us, then that's something I could support. Do I want to have an assessment? Personally, no. Do I want to have a loan that we pay interest on? No. It would have to be very good reason to do it, because I kind of feel like we just went through this. And I'm not sure what we would need that's so big at this point that would require that.
Mr. Kirkbride?
I certainly think we have to really, have all the details of what we're spending money for and who it benefits and how it would increase the value of the Legends. And I think that would be the main thing. And the cost of money and the total package you have to have before you can say yes or no on both.
Fran Wilson?
I would feel that if the Strategic Planning Committee made that recommendation, then they would come to us with a very good reason on why that they felt that this was important. And I concur with Sharon Smith down there.
I'm sorry.
That we think about the idea of the new people coming in, that they also pay their fair share. So with the interest rates as low as they are now, I would probably go against the assessment, and I would think seriously about a short-term loan as long as the interest rates were lower.
Mr. Liggett?
Personally, I would not base my decision directly based on the committee. So just because they say they're going to want to do something doesn't mean that I'm going to agree with it. So I would analyze it, understand what's going on, get a sense of what type of commitment we're talking about, what it affects, the long-term cost, the reoccurring long-term cost. As we talked about earlier, people are concerned about consistently going higher and higher on our social dues. The short term or the immediate buying the property is one thing, but it's the secondary as you keep it, the upkeep, and it just keeps on adding and adding more and more. So I definitely would press them to understand the full cost, not just the upfront, what would cost to either a loan or assessment. So that's my thoughts on it.
Hi, I'm Richard Trussell, and Diane Wilbrett and I have lived here for only 2.5 years. But we love it, we love the people, it's just a great place to live. And I think that the master board is extremely important. I'd like to know, what is your main purpose for being on the master board?
Mr. Whitman?
Oh. My purpose is to protect and better our investment in our property here. We moved here for its amenities and the value we received. And I want to make that better tomorrow. And I think if we do that, that will also allow the people from outside, new members, prospective members, to come in and buy and make our property values even higher than they are now.
Mr. Thomas?
I'm running for the board because I think I can make a difference. I'm a clear thinker. I'm fiscally responsible. I want to make sure that, again, that we're doing for all members, not just a select few. I've seen some of the choices that we've done in the past. I'm not a real big fan of the extra TV that we put out on the Sunset Grill. I thought we could utilize that money better. And then there's been some other costs that I think I could just do a better job at. Thank you.
Ms. Harriman?
I'm very passionate about this community, and to be frank with you, I considered not running. And I've had several people encourage me to run. I'm visible throughout the community. And in discussion with several of the members who had asked me to consider running again, I realized that I feel that the committees that I have served on and the people that I have worked with, the friendships that I've made are important to everyone here. I feel that this has been a rough year. This has been a very rough year. COVID has been very tough. It's been very rough on the board. It's been rough, as I said, on all of us. And tough decisions were made. I love this community. I went through all of that again and relived it time and time again. But and then I would do this again. I'm very involved. You've all seen me. I'm out of the bocce courts, sports and fitness, anywhere from one end, court 7, all the way. You can see me all the way through the grill and all the way to the golf course.
Thank you. Sharon Wilson?
One of the reasons is to protect our investment. Another reason, I'm a person who really feels that you need to be involved in your community and give back to your community. If we had no one who would volunteer to take this challenge, we'd be in sad shape here. So that's to support and give back to our community.
Mrs. Munson?
I'm just finishing, last year I just finished up being LWGA president, the year before vice president, and I have to tell you, it was the most wonderful and best experience I've had at Legends. I cannot tell you the number of people, the ladies that I met, that I didn't know as well as I thought I did, I got to know, and I went, oh my gosh, this is great, and I want to stay involved in my community just like that. There's so many new faces, and I love meeting every one of them. And I gotta tell you, that's one of the main reasons. I loved being the president. I loved all those new faces. I loved getting to know people on a new level and working with them. And I also think it's very important to keep Legends a good value, and because I care I said that in my opening statement, I'll say it again, I care. I care about Legends, I care about my neighbors, my friends, I care about the staff, I care about everything that goes on here. And sometimes I have too many caring opinions, but I care.
Thank you. Mr. Kirkbride?
Yeah, the reason I'm running is to, help contribute and make this a better place, and I know with my background and my experience that I can contribute instead of just letting things happen here without contributing. And I did have several people ask me to run, I thought it was a good idea, and that's why I'm here now.
Fran Wilson?
I feel that right now Legends has so many challenges facing them. And I would like to be part of the solution. I would like to be able to make a difference for our community, my community. That's why I'm running.
Mr. Liggins?
Basically to utilize my financial skills to maintain the value that we have here, as well as justify any future cost increases. I'm also interested in becoming more transparent as a board. I'm interested in our transition plan out of COVID and how we move from there, and also the long-term planning that we're about to go through.
Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna take another question. This one's from Betsy Gutad. And let's see. If you could choose which standing committee you could chair, which committee would you choose and why? Mr. Thomas?
Well, when I was on the board previous, I had the Common Grounds Committee as well as the House Committee. I think probably the most active committee out there is the House Committee. So, I mean, if I had a choice, I would probably take that one.
Ms. Harriman?
Well, I started with Common Grounds, then I went to Sports and Fitness, and then, unfortunately, Tom Delahanty resigned, and I stepped up to the plate and became the chair of the Common Grounds Committee again. Now, I think it all depends upon the makeup of our board, depends upon who is elected for our board and the best fit for each board member. I think that I want to say one thing, that I do believe that the advisory committees are the backbone of our community.
Thank you. Sharon Wilson?
Well, I've been on the Architectural Control Committee, and lots of people thought, oh, that's not a lot to do on that committee, but we sure learned that fight this year. Bill thought we had a lot left, but I enjoyed that committee, but I think I would have more ideas and input for the House Committee. So that would probably be the committee that I would like to chair.
Thank you, Ms. Munson.
As you know, everybody who knows me personally has been expecting to say House because I love to throw a party and have events. And I know I'm really good at it. In my volunteer experience, the one thing I think I've done more of than anything is throwing events. But in all honesty, you know, there's a lot of great qualified people. I have been on House Committee before. I am just so open to serving anywhere the need needs to be. I feel like I can adapt to anything. I'm interested in everything, and every part of the cog of this wheel matters and counts. I don't think any one of them is any less important or more important than the other, because it takes all of them to make this public.
Mr. Kirkbride?
Yeah, I do not have a favorite committee to serve on. I would just serve any committee that I would contribute to and be a benefit to the operations of this facility.
Fran Wilson?
I've been on, in the past, I've been on the House Committee. I've loved it. That was way back with Peggy Grace. And I've been on Common Grounds with Mr. Thomas. I have a little bit of a background in physical education, but I've never been on the Sports and Fitness part of it, I would accept any committee.
Mr. Liggins?
Based on my experience, probably the finance makes the most sense, but I would be willing to participate in any committee that needed my participation.
Mr. Whitman?
Based on my experience in past, I would, say either the finance or the House Committee.
Okay, one more question from Ms. Gutoff. We take great pride in being a financially stable community. Who among you has experience in finance and feels qualified to serve as treasurer?
Would I go first then?
Yeah, you're first.
I did, as I stated earlier, part of my responsibility was finance and budget. I felt that Dee Harold did an outstanding job as the chair of our finance committee, and a couple of our finance committee members are sitting here today, and I thought they did a fine job. And Renee, with your assistance in building the budget, I thought you did a tremendous job. And I would pass on that. I would pass on being chair, because I see, when I look at the folks up here that are running for election, I see more qualified than I am in that area.
Sharon Wilson?
I would be interested in finance, however, I don't feel that I'm qualified to take that responsibility.
Mrs. Munson?
No, I tend to think I can do anything. That's just the way I feel, and that everything and anything is possible if I just take the time to learn it or to get the right people surrounded by. I agree, depending on who is chosen of the 8 candidates sitting here. There are other people here definitely with more work experience that qualify in financing, and I would be vain to say that I could do a better job than them. So I would just say, at the time when we have our candidates picked out and we're sitting there, and if I should be one of them in the 7 sitting there, I would hope that we would pick the one most qualified out of the 7.
Mr. Kirkbride?
I agree. I believe the most qualified people for the makeup of the master board, we will choose the correct person who is most qualified.
Fran Wilson?
I have a financially sound checkbook down to the penny. So no, I would not feel confident as a person in finances.
Mr. Liggins?
I feel comfortable doing the job. I just don't want to take anybody's job. If that's something that, that's being done now and they wish to continue with it, that's fine with me. If there's a need for me, then I'd be happy to help.
Mr. Whitman?
I feel I developed excellent experience working on the Finance Advisory Committee last year with Dee Harold and my fellow committee members. However, if there's somebody better than I would be more than happy to go with that.
Mr. Thomas?
I would say that the 2 gentlemen to my left are probably a little bit more qualified in the financial end of it. I would say all board members should be involved with the finance committee. I would say of all the committees, that's probably the most important committee that we have there. You know, we do a budget every year, and, you know, I think we should really take a deep dive into line by line and make sure that's exactly what, you know, what the community needs. So.
Okay, so we have no one in Zoom, no one who wants to ask any more questions. So I have 3 more questions up here, but I think we've already answered them, so if you disagree with me. We had, like, candidate for the master board asked how many times in the last 2 years they attended the master board monthly meeting, either live or Zoom. I think we all talked about meetings already, do we agree?
No, that was golf committee.
Is that golf committee? Okay, so that's the question. How many times in the last 2 years have you attended the master board meeting, either live or Zoom? Sharon?
I would say that almost 100% of them.
Ms. Munson?
I would say Sharon was at 100% of them. I agree with that. I have done a lot of them, most of them. I will admit that this summer, with, the Zooming, I maybe had like the month of July and August, September, COVID got in the way and I had other things going on and so I wasn't so diligent about it. But I pretty much show up for meetings and because I care. I'll say it again, I care.
Mr. Kirkbride?
I went through.
Fran Wilson?
ATC, I've probably done 40% of the meetings.
So we're asking Master Board only.
Master Board, probably 40%.
Mr. Liggins?
I probably attended one, whenever it was still live, but I've read all the board minutes. I've read the, strategic, the survey that just came out. I have, read whatever the Legends Exchange just about every week, so I'm pretty informed about what's going on.
Mr. Whitman?
To my recollection, all but one, and that was August of 2019.
Mr. Thomas?
I would say probably somewhere in the 30 to 50% range.
Deb Harriman?
100%.
Okay, so another question, this one was from Mark Donahue. Approximately how many committee meetings have you attended either remotely or in person in the past 4 years? Can we all agree we answered that one? Okay, and.
We didn't answer that one either, that was golf committee.
What's
No.
that?
Did we answer that one?
No.
No, we didn't answer that one today.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I'll start.
That was golf committee.
The question is approximately how many committee meetings have you attended either remotely or in person in the past 4 years?
Oh, the past 4, a lot. A lot of mostly, master, golf, house. I've done some finance. I love to listen to Kathy and Joe talk numbers. I've done ACC and Common Grounds. I will pick up and do a meeting, sports and fitness, whether there's something big going on or not. If I can, I'm in. I just want to know what's happening because I don't like to get caught up in legends gossip. I need to hear straight from the mouth.
Mr. Kirkbride?
I've only been here 3 years, so I can't comment on how many I did before, so I haven't been to that many meetings, no.
Okay, Fran Wilson?
Before the COVID, I was at the House meetings, probably 50%. Common Grounds, I was on the committee, so I was there for every meeting there. ACC, I was ACC chairperson for Somerset, so I was zooming in all of this year basically for the ACC. House, like I said, probably 40% over the past 4 years.
Mr. Liggins?
I think I've been to 2 master board meetings and 1 golf committee meeting. But again, I've read all the minutes, I've read the documents, all our documents online, so all the bylaws, everything like that, so.
Mr. Whitman?
This past year was my first year to be on an advisory committee, and I attended all of them.
Okay, Mr. Thomas?
4 years, 2 years I was on the master board, so I attended all the meetings. And I'd say probably since then, maybe 25% of the meetings.
Ms. Harriman?
I attend the master board meetings and the advisory committee meetings.
Ms. Wilson?
I attended almost 100% of the master board or Zoom, and probably there are times that finance is probably one of the committee meetings that I have not Zoomed or been to frequently, occasionally, but most all the other committees, I would say between 85 and 90%.
Okay, so,
I started.
yeah, she started. The last one, from Peg Gray. If elected, you will be on the board addressing the 5-year strategic plan. What do you see as your role in the implementing of that plan? Mr. Kirkbride?
My role would be to consider all the facets of the plan and to determine if it is justified or not.
Fran Wilson?
Well, seeing as I just read them, I would hope that we would have ample time to analyze, to discuss all of the suggestions that the strategic committee comes up with, and that we come to the conclusion of priority and fiscal responsibility for our membership. And as a master board member, I would assume that we would be active participants in those decisions.
Mr. Liggett?
I have also read the reports. I actually got one page of it here. Again, analyze the information, understand what the committee is recommending, understand how we can stay competitive in our market, but also make sure that we are fiscally responsible and we can justify the cost of any project that we endeavor.
Mr. Whitman?
Review, analyze, and to the best of my ability, find a solution.
Mr. Thomas?
I would say, review the data. If there's more data that needs to be done, go back to the committee or do the due diligence myself. But make sure, again, that we're, fiscally responsible for the membership.
Mr. Evans?
Attend all the advisory meetings as well as focus on the committee of which I would chair. That would be my main focus.
Sharon?
I've read the survey results. I think we need to analyze that data and explain it. I think we need to look at needs versus wants. And I think we need to prioritize what we feel we need. And utmost being fiscally responsible.
Ms. Munson?
Well, I don't want to repeat everything the 7 previous candidates said, because basically, pretty much, I should agree with all of that, because that's all just common sense. I will say that one of my goals would be, in implementing the plan, would just be more inclusion of new members. We have a lot of new members in Legend, and I'd like to see them getting involved in whether it's a subcommittee or whatever. They're our future. They just got here. They just came in the last few years, so I want to see them be involved in knowing what they want going forward. And the other thing that really concerned me was raising the confidence in the board. It's at 57% on the survey. And the staff who gets paid, it's got like 90% approval rating. Well, these people here are doing it for nothing, and I would like to see that, I want them to get paid, I'd like to get a higher rating. Okay, I'd like to have the confidence be raised in the members in the master board.
All right, that's all the questions. I'd like to thank you for all stepping up to the plate. I think we probably all.
Right. Very common. That's
Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah, you said for the board. You said that's extremely common. No.
Well, you get blamed for everything.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I was gonna respond to that. I was gonna say, I'm gonna go home.
Thank you.
Good job, Jay. Yeah,
Thank you.
And I agree with you too about the investment. Afterwards, I wish I would have said that as well.
I have to
do.
Mahjong 5 minutes ago, so I'm gonna have to pass up any.
Oh, you have to? Okay, we'll do it later.
Yeah, we'll do it
again.
later.
Okay, thanks.
All right. I can hardly wait to walk the plank.
Having fun.
Okay.
That's good. It's great to get you back. Thank you.
I don't know. Thank you, buddy. Except for that, what's that?
I really like that assessment too. Short. You're very welcome. Well deserved. Well, you guys go in and get a cocktail. Yeah, I can't go. I can't. What is tomorrow?
Tuesday,
Okay.
the 9th, we'll get our shot.
Let's go on, girls. I,
Well, you're all very brave.
lead webinar.
Are you getting your shot too tomorrow?
Our second one.
Your second one?
Our second one.
No, Lynn got one today.
No, I'm wondering if you got the right area.
Port Charlotte.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to go that far to get it?
Yeah, that's where we went, and then,
Republic?
no,
Oh.
Aldrich.
Oh.
So, and then I tried to weasel myself in there, but it
I'm
didn't
not by
happen.
myself for very long.
Yeah, we got it through.
Good job, Deb. Nice there.
At Boy Scouts and Colonial.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. You too, girl. Great job. Oh, I can't think now.
If I had reactions.
All right.
So I'm hoping yeah, I'm hoping I don't have reactions. No, my gosh.
Moderna?
But see, I haven't come to my immune system, so it didn't surprise me that I reacted that way, because my immune system was probably working overtime.
Yeah, my sister-in-law works, she got the Moderna in Michigan, and she was sick for 2 days. Just, and it was,
Well, I got my shot on Tuesday, and it didn't hit me until Saturday, because we were in the Valentine's Day thing, we were supposed to play in that,
Yeah.
and I tried and when I got home, I had chills.
Well, that was long.
That's the longest one we had.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but then, and then I also had lymph node issues.
yeah.
You know,
So,
oh, I see.
hopefully-